Hi everyone, it's Nick here from Noterro. If you're in Canada and you're registered with TELUS Health and you'd like to process eClaims directly through Noterro, I'm going to show you how to set it up for organizations. There is another video on how to set it up for individuals. So I'm going to go through the setup again for organizations. So the very first thing we're going to do is click on the gear icon. And under the insurance section, we're going to click on TELUS eClaims. So we land on this page. The very first thing we need to do is add our connections. So we're going to click Add. And we're going to put a name in here that identifies this connection within Noterro. And so we're going to connect this ABC clinic. So we're just going to call this connection ABC. And it is an organization, so we'll turn this switch on. And we're going to get the TELUS clinic name and the CPR ID exact as it is in your TELUS account. So when you log into your TELUS account, you'll need to put this information in exact. So we'll just say it's listed as ABC, and we'll put our CPR ID in here. And the location, because we already said we're going to connect the ABC clinic, so we're not going to connect the BDC clinic. So here's an important point. You can only use one account connection with one location. So if you're an organization and you have more than one location, you're going to have more than one TELUS account. So you can't take this same information and connect both the ABC and the BDC clinic. And we're going to put our ID again when we log into our account at TELUS. And so we'll put our location ID and the type, it's a clinic. And so we'll select clinic and we'll click save. So we have now set up an organizational connection with TELUS Health. We just have to put a few more variables in. We have to set it up. We have a few more screens to set up. The next is our settings. And these are form fields. So these are the fields that will appear on client or patient insurance policies. And so you'll need to enable these fields because we're going to be passing these values as well, such as membership ID and policy number through TELUS. So you're going to need to enable these fields and the billing code. So if you're, for example, a physiotherapist, we'll store the physiotherapist billing codes within Noterro. So you're going to need to enable these fields. The insurance section, we're going to come back to the insurance section, and these are the insurers that you use within your account. So any of your any of the insurers that you bill directly for your patients, you're going to need to enable these. But we're going to go to another section called Insurers in a second, and we're going to set up those insurers. You can set it up through here, but I just want to show you where it is as well through the insurers. So let's go back to our connection here. So this clinic is not connected, and we're going to be using the ABC. So we'll view the ABC connection. And if you made a mistake on any of these values, because they do have to be an exact match, you can always just click edit and you'll be able to update these values. These are our users. So when you log into your TELUS account, you'll see your associate providers or your assistants, and you'll be using their values as well. So for example, if I clicked on John Jones and I need to connect it, I'll find this information, first name, last name, and his TELUS provider or CPR ID. As well, you'll put it in here. Okay, and you'll need to add the role. So whatever he performs. So if he's a chiropractor, for example, you'd select chiropractor, and then you'd select the licensing body. You'd select the licensing body through this drop-down list that he's associated to, and you put his license number in there. And if has multiple roles, you'd add another role, and then you would click save. So these are all the providers that are listed that you will be submitting claims on their behalf. So we're going to go back because there is another connection that you need to know. So you may have an independent, for example, that wants to process claims associated to your clinic. So for example, you may have an independent provider. When they're logged in, they want to submit claims on their behalf using their accounts or using their credentials. So you're going to add them as an independent this time. So for example, I'll connect my account. Okay, so I'll add me as an independent. The location ID that you have, okay, so it's the ABC clinic location ID. I can't remember what I put in here, but I'll put some other values in here and I'll save that. And I'm going to leave this off because it's an independent. Okay, so there's the independent, and you can see that I now have an independent connection for this individual. So I can view them just like I viewed, and you can see there's a connection, there's the location ID, and again, you would need to connect these accounts if they wanted to process on behalf of this independent provider. So the independent provider can also connect their account. So let me go to their account so we can see that he's listed as an independent provider again. So I'll go as the practitioner. I can show you it at that end. And they would click on eClaims. And there's the independent role and there's the organization, and they're not connected, so I can connect it from this end as well. I'd put my first name, my last name, again my CPR ID or my TELUS provider ID. I'd add my roles, and this time I'm going to put my username and password, the one that I use to log into my TELUS account. And so again, this is really important that these are an exact match, or else the claim will not process. So the benefit of doing this, or as an independent, is that I'm going to be processing I'm going to be processing claims on my behalf associated to the ABC clinic, and so that's how you'd register them as independent. So I'll go back to that. Just as a quick review. And again, you can see this is the organization, and these are independents that you have also associated to your clinic. If you need to add an insurer, and these are the insurers that you're going to be using within your Noterro account that you interact directly with TELUS, and you just click Add Insurer. And you're going to select insurers. You're not going to type everyone's name in, and you're just going to go through the list of the insurers that you deal with. And so you would just turn these switches on of any of the insurers that you deal with, and you would connect them. And when I go back to TELUS eClaims, you can see that they're connected. And we also display if you can process eClaims, and also if you can check if you can do eligibility checks within Noterro. Okay, so if your insurers are already listed, so if you already have insurers listed, you can click Edit, and this field will be blank, and you can connect them as well that way. Okay, so that's how simple it is to set up your account. There's going to be another video on how to process a claim, as well as setting up a policy, so everything goes through. So make sure you watch that video as well. So thanks for watching, and if you'd like to subscribe, click on the subscribe to be notified exactly when we're adding our videos.